We need to hide.
From what?
Daniel Mason, you are under arrest. Surrender or we will open fire.
Alec, run! Run!
Hello and welcome to my review of Red Faction Guerrilla for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Red Faction Guerrilla is a third-person open-world shooter. The graphics in the game are very, very nice, well-designed. The gameplay engine works quite well. There's not any frame rate issues that I can tell, and I haven't seen many graphical glitches throughout the game. The sound design to the game is also quite well done. The sound effects are nice and varied. The explosions sound powerful and look as powerful. And the guns sound and look fantastic. There's also some very interestingly designed weapons in the game, and some really cool weapons to use. The story basically follows this miner character who goes to Mars to meet with his brother to do some mining stuff, and basically his brother gets killed by the EDF, the Earth Defense Force, and he joins Red Faction, which his brother was part of, to liberate Mars from the evil clutches of the Earth Defense Force. And off you go on to a standard revenge plot with some cliches, but the characters and some really funny lines keep the story pretty interesting and really push you forward to get to the end of the game. The gameplay is, you know, a standard third-person shooter's controls. You've got a cover system which works fairly well, but nothing, nothing too revolutionary about that. However, the destructible environment really adds to the game and makes the cover system work a lot better, keeps you on your toes. The game also has a lot of really epic chases that really add a lot to the game. You can have like these EDF guys just chasing you, and it makes the game a lot of fun. It's just, really cool to have all these different cars chasing you in this big scenario, and just to nearly lose them while one drives right over you and you launch an attack on them again. Switch from car to car. It really adds a nice epic feel to the game. And a lot of these elements really make the combat extremely satisfying and rewarding. The melee combat is fantastic, and as I said before, the shooting combat is extremely satisfying. The AI can be a little bit brain dead sometimes, though. And as I said, the environments are pretty much fully destructible. You can destroy any building, any structure you see, whether it be with the really awesome and fun sledgehammer or the equally as cool detonatable charges that you have, which are a lot of fun to use to set up for maybe some strategy where you might blow up an area where you might know some soldiers coming, because you can switch to regular weapons and still use the charges, which is a lot of fun to do. The melee combat works really well in the game. The shooting is very fun, very satisfying, and works very well. The vehicles are nice and varied and are a lot of fun to drive. There's a lot of variety in side missions that actually feel like they're really a part of the game, whether it be freeing hostages and getting back to the safe house, blowing up a structure, or any number of things you can do, intercepting a courier to get information that might be sent to the Earth Defense Force, or defending a previously captured area. It's a lot of fun to do, and it works quite well. The game is just a lot of fun. It's got a great multiplayer component to it that's also a lot of fun. It works very, very well. Overall, it's just a very, very solid game. There's not a lot to complain about. The game can get slightly repetitive at times, because even though the side missions are do add some variety, sometimes it does get a little bit repetitive, but the game is just a lot of fun, and it does keep it from getting repetitive for a while. The level designs are also quite nicely done. Each level looks very interesting, and the structures have a very interesting look to them. Sometimes the game just feels like one of those big 80s action films, which is a great quality to it. As the characters are very interesting, and the multiplayer component works quite well. It's just a very solid game overall. There's not a lot of problems with it. There's a lot of great games out right now, and this is one of them. If you're looking for a good, solid third-person shooter, this is definitely one that I would say to get. So definitely check out Red Faction Guerrilla for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Red Faction Guerrilla gets a 4 out of 5. It's a solid game, and it's definitely one you should check out. So thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe.
The Liberators soon became an occupying force. And now they killed my brother. Dan said they'd take everything. For me, they already have.